You are now listening to T on One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you Inspire Our Podcast, your source for positive mental stimulation and good vibes, uplifting the world in support of peace, strength, wisdom, and faith. The information and resources on this podcast are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. This podcast may contain some quotations, images, and or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. Welcome, I am your host, Tony Williams. Welcome to another episode of Inspire Our Podcast, where we will be discussing real-life experiences, struggles, and triumphs to inspire and uplift our listeners. Welcome to all my new listeners and all of my day ones. I'm your host, Tony, and in today's episode, we're going to tackle a topic that affects millions of individuals worldwide, and that's depression. We'll explore what depression is, its impact, and most importantly, how to cope through it. So this is conquering the darkness, navigating through depression. Now, we know life happens. It's said, but most don't understand it. It's when things happen that you have no control over. And you're just kind of having to go with the flow. In a lot of cases, that can be very difficult, which can lead to depression. Now, depression is a mental health condition that can engulf a person's mind, body, and soul, leaving them feeling trapped in a darkness that seems impossible to escape. It's important to note that depression is not a sign of weakness or something that can simply be brushed off. It's a legitimate illness that requires understanding and proper support. Like I said, life happens, things happen. Losing a job, having to bury a loved one. There's just so many things. Diagnosed with something that has a bleak outlook, mourning the loss of a relationship, a child. There are so many things that can take place in life that can have you down. But it's when it gets down to the point where you seem to not be able to bounce back. That's when there's a problem. We all have a little worry, or it's a little natural to be concerned about a certain situation, but then you figure it out, work it out, and you're bouncing back. Everything's fine. Depression is a whole nother ball game. So to truly understand depression, we need to highlight some of its common symptoms, like low mood, persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities once enjoyed, change in appetite, having difficulty sleeping, a lack of energy. It's hard to concentrate, negative thoughts, and sometimes even thoughts of self-harm or suicide are all possible signs of depression. Now let's take a closer look at this, because this is one that I have struggled with myself, and it is a issue. Believe me. But you can navigate it. You can navigate through the darkness to coping. And it can be done. It just takes a little work, kindness to yourself, support from others. So it's crucial to remember that depression affects everyone differently. So let me get that out the way. Depression isn't one of those one-size-fit-all sort of fabrics or deals. Some individuals might exhibit all these symptoms that I just listed, while others may experience only a few. And I'll be honest, some people can hide it very well. And then some think they're hiding it and not really hiding it. It's peeking through. So the key is to recognize these signs in ourselves, our loved ones, and take appropriate action. So how do we cope? How do we find hope amidst the darkness? We're going to talk about some strategies that have actually been proven effective in managing depression. To start, seek professional help. It is the first step. Reach out to a mental health professional. Working with a therapist or a counselor can provide you with the necessary support, guidance, and coping techniques tailored to your individual situation. The next is build a support system. Surround yourself with people who understand and support you. Connecting with friends, family, or support groups can remind you that you are not alone in your battle against depression. You just have to reach out. It can be a little difficult, and I completely understand. That's the part of putting in a little work and go, you know what, I need to speak to someone. And it's taking that step. Now the next is practicing self-care. It may not seem like that's a big deal when it comes to depression, but it really is. So taking care of yourself is crucial when dealing with depression. Prioritize activities that promote your emotional, physical, and mental well-being, such as exercise, meditation, journaling, or engaging in hobbies you enjoy. Myself, I kind of like gardening and writing. So you can give those a try, or walking, or running. Music for some. Listening to music helps as well. A little bit of yoga, a little bit of meditation. Doing those things will actually get you up out of the bed. Because if you're not careful, you'll get stuck in the bed. So practicing self-care is really important. The next is establish a routine. Routine is good. It gives you something to get up for. Creating a structured daily routine can bring a sense of stability and purpose to your life. Set small, attainable goals that give you a sense of accomplishment and help you maintain a positive mindset. Start out small, and then you can grow it as you see fit. You don't want to set something so big that you overwhelm yourself and give yourself a setback. That's what we don't want. It's not healthy. Next, challenge those negative thoughts. What does that mean? I know, right? I had the same question when I heard it. Well, depression often goes hand in hand with negative self-talk. It's not even something somebody else says. It comes from within. What we say to ourselves matter. It matters. What you tell yourself matters. I'll say that again. What you tell yourselves matters. Learning to identify and challenge these thoughts with positive affirmations can help shift your mindset towards a more optimistic perspective. See, how we view things determines how we respond and react to things, especially life stressors or situations that we have no control over. It could be anything. It could be something small like a blowout on your car. You locked your keys up in the house. You forgot something and you're at the store already. It can be something that trivial that can send you over the edge with it. So how we view things and the positive affirmations that we give ourselves and what we say to ourselves really does matter when it comes to navigating and conquering the darkness when it comes to depression. So I'll ask you to remember, it's essential to reach out for help and support when needed. Let's destigmatize depression and create a safe space where individuals can openly talk about their struggles. Together, we can walk hand in hand towards a brighter future. So if you've had any experience with it, let us know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I love your feedback. Any suggestions, I'm open to hear it. Or if you have a testimony about this, you've conquered it. You've been through hell and back. Let us know. It might do someone else good to hear it and do you even better to say it. Depression is not the end. It doesn't have to be. It's a challenge, but it's doable. We can conquer this together as long as we support each other, speak positive into our lives, prioritize self-care, and be able to recognize it. Here is this week's affirmation. Our affirmation of the week is, I am strong, resilient, and capable of navigating through my depression with courage and grace. Quote for the week. Our quote for this week is, just as a ship must navigate through rough waters to reach its destination, so must we navigate through our struggles with depression to find peace and healing within. Keep in mind, my dear listeners, we are conquerors. We are victorious. We will not let the darkness of depression break us. Pray, love, and enjoy life. Well, that's all for today's episode. I hope you found some valuable insights and coping strategies to navigate through depression. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out. Remember, you are not alone, and there is always hope. And don't forget to subscribe to the Inspire Hour podcast, where we continue to share empowering stories and practical tips to help you live a fulfilled and inspired life. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and never forget that you are capable of conquering any darkness life may throw at you. You have been listening to Inspire Our podcast by TL1 Radio, the talk show podcast station. Know that you are loved, cherished, and needed. So keep your head up and your heart light. Until the next time, have a blessed and productive week. I've been your host, Tony Williams. TL1 radio station listeners are awesome. Because of this, your voice is very important. Listeners are encouraged and welcome to call in live during a show or leave a message with your thoughts and opinions, whether it's the Sound Meditation Podcast, the Tony on One Podcast, the Sister Talk Podcast with Sister Such and Such, the Underground Podcast about music, or Inspire Our Podcast. We're trying to inspire the world. That's T on One Radio. So listeners' voice is very important. So give us a call at 318-315-3586. Again, 318-315-3586. And voice your opinion. Hi guys, this is Tony on One. And I am here to tell you a little bit about my radio station. All shows are by T on One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Shows are available anytime for download, play on demand, and they're on most of your podcast sites and or apps. Subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. The name over there is Tony on One, as well as like, follow, and share on social media. We're on one. So tune in for raw, uncut talk.